Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 89 of the Video Games Ahoy Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Daf Gape.
Hello there.
And Daf Weeks.
General Kenobi.
Yeah.
I did it!
You got sucked into it. It was there. It was too
into it.
juicy. There's no Zach today. There was no,
Yeah, so I had to deprive him of that moment.
You had to. How are you doing, gents?
Very well, thank you.
You good?
Yes, so well.
Good.
I
That's good.
feel so jolly.
That's good, man.
I like that. How are you? Yes.
Yes. Can sometimes tell a lot about a person. Just like, yes, that's like good. It's better than him saying no, because that would have been
True.
Oh man,
a bit
imagine.
more awkward.
How are you? Nope.
Nope.
No.
But that's good to hear. I'm very excited. I won't mention what games you two have played. I imagine Daf Gapes might be a bit more obvious to people who are just watching him stream. But I'm very excited to hear what games you two will be talking about later on, because they're quite a contrast, and I'm very, very excited because I've not really been playing anything. I played Death's Door for 10 minutes, but I don't feel like I can talk about that because I played it for 10 minutes. It was fine. I've just been very busy. But more time for gaming soon, which is good. Let's kickstart off the podcast and then we get into the news, because there's actually quite a few news stories today, quite a few of them to get through. So if you are watching us or listening to us for the very first time, then hello, we are Video Games Ahoy, and if you are back, if you've sailed across that ocean and turned on that radio on that little island that we have,
That iHeartRadio.
you Davy G, then thank you. It's so lovely. You know, it's really, really genuinely lovely that after 2 years people keep coming back, and that's what we wanna have. As Dav said, we are on iHeartRadio. We're on lots of different places like iHeartRadio, iHeart. I don't know. Spotify. iHeart Amazon.
iHeart YouTube.
Yeah, iHeart Facebook. No, we don't. No, I wouldn't say that.
We don't.
No.
But we are on Facebook. We don't
wait.
heart it. Yeah, we are. Well, we don't really do much. We just post links to the episode.
Oh, right,
But,
stick to Discord and Twitter, peeps.
Yeah,
that's where we're hanging out.
That's where we hang. But if you are, like I said, if you are listening to us for the very first time, then thank you. We appreciate it. And if you're back again, we appreciate it again. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Right, let's kickstart off some news. Let's. I want to start off with a juicy story from Jason Schreier, my best friend.
Your best.
My best friend. So, Jason Schreier has been seen for a while. Actually, this rumor has been doing the rounds for quite some time. I think for the last 6 months, it's been mentioned. But I think this is the first time we've actually had concrete beliefs that something this week could be occurring. And that is the merging of PS Plus and PS Now into what Jason Schreier believes is called, I can't remember, Spartacus.
Yes.
Spartacus.
Yes.
This week, apparently.
Yes, this week. I'll read out a little thing that he wrote. So he said that they're preparing to introduce a new video game subscription service for the PlayStation as early as next week being this week. The service, which has been in development under the codename Spartacus, is Sony's answer to Microsoft's Game Pass, a sort of Netflix for video games that amassed more than 25 million subscribers. I'm going to stop it there because from what I've read, it doesn't really sound like. Well, it may be kind of, but not. Anyway, Sony will
kind
give
of
you
what?
I'll explain now. It will give you a splashy lineup of hit games from recent years. Loads of people saying they don't want to be named. That's fair enough. It's fair enough, jail. But but basically the thing that I think they're trying to do is there's 3 tiers. One is kind of like what you've got now. The second one is PS Plus and PS Now, and then the top one is PS Plus, PS Now demos, extended demos of PlayStation games, as well as a back catalog of PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games, which is very cool. The issue is that I think a lot of people going into this, when they're comparing it to Game Pass, they're expecting it to be like Game Pass. It's not going to be like that, in the sense that no new PlayStation games are going to be coming day one. So I think the wording of this has got to be very specific, because if people expect it to be Game Pass, they're going to be disappointed. That's basically what I was trying to
are
allude to earlier.
I am kind of concerned that these demos and stuff are locked behind tier 3.
I think they are. I'm fairly sure they are.
I think they should be locked behind tier 1.
No,
I personally think demos shouldn't be locked. They are demos.
Yes,
well, yes, but absolutely. But if let's say they're like betas, right? To betas get sold as demos, was really for the devs so they can test the game. But let's say they're betas for games that aren't out yet, right? You put them at the tier 1, people play those things, and then you release those games on tier 3, and people up their subscription so they can play those games. Whereas what they're doing is, I mean, what is tier 1 going to be? If tier 1 is going to be what, PS Plus, and then tier 2 is PS Plus plus PS Now?
It seems like it's going to be something along the lines of maybe tier 1 is PS Plus and PS Now, and then tier 2 is like maybe something. I don't quite remember what it was exactly. All I know is that the third tier is where you get all of the juicy goodies, but like you say, Dav, maybe... I don't know. When demos in particular, you're supposed to be tempting people to buy stuff. It shouldn't be something you have to pay for.
Yeah, it's just all feels so cynical.
Yeah, we're doing you a favor.
Yeah.
I mean, I am interested. I'm not really like. It's one of those things. I obviously will know going into this that it's not going to be Game Pass. So if I know, like, I'm going to be. If what we're getting is they haven't really discussed pricing yet. So if it is something like £10 and you get all of the old like loads of PlayStation 1, 2, 3 games, all the stuff on PlayStation Now, PS Plus as well, then fair enough. That could be a good deal. I think the thing where it does fall down obviously compared to Game Pass is you don't need to buy anything with Game Pass. Like as in compared like Xbox games, that's it. You have Game Pass and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. But don't know. Obviously, we'll see, won't we? But it just doesn't feel promising.
Yeah,
but I mean, how I like calling it Spartacus. I think it's quite funny because we all know the show with like I am Spartacus. No, I am Spartacus. It's like I am Netflix. No, I am Netflix. No, I am Netflix for games. No, I am Netflix for games. Just feels like they are very. Not self-aware that they don't understand that being Spartacus now implies that you are not Spartacus. Spartacus came before you, and that you were just trying to be a pale imitation of Spartacus.
I think it's a thing as well because like it's the idea of Spartacus. It's like the name obviously makes it feel like it's coming for a fight, and it's like, well, you're not going to win in that. Like Sony's winning in so many ways, like, but in this specific context, Game Pass is the best thing on the market. Like it is just in the context we're talking about, like having access to multiple games in that Netflix style. Game Pass is the best. It is. So it just feels weird that they're not going to do as much and then pretend like they. I don't know. Like you say, Dad, maybe the best thing to do just wait and see. This week we'll find out. This week we will find out. Right, let's move on to the next story. This is actually quite a sad story, and I think we'll have a little chat about this as well, but I know Daf Gape in particular wanted to talk about this. So Mohamed Fahmy, who has been called one of the brightest stars of independent games development, has passed away sadly at the age of 32. Fahmy was best known as the creator of the visual novel Coffee Talk, and had most recently been working on the upcoming Afterlove EP. Coffee Talk was like, I've never actually played it, but I've heard like quite a lot of people talking about it and playing playing the game. I've never actually played it myself, but yeah, that's just tragic. That's just really sad.
So I did a full stream of it either last year or the year before, but sang it as a musical, the whole thing. Wow. And this game is just so great, and the vibes of it, and you run a coffee shop in Seattle, and it's sort of fantasy, real world merged together. So you have like orcs and elves and humans all walking in, but it's like hipster Seattle in the 2010s, 2020s. And just the stories of like love and romance and kindness and empathy that are being told there. Like none of it felt cringy or forced. It just all felt very real. And those kind of stories are like what you go to indie games for, like you either go for your 2D Zelda clones or you go for your interesting stories that aren't being told. And Coffee Talk 2 is coming out either this year or next year, and I'm really excited for that because of just how wonderful an experience Coffee Talk 1 was. And it's a shame that he's not around anymore to carry on making those experiences.
Yeah, 32 is really, it's just no age. It's just really tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was a really good point to mention it, Dav. I really appreciate you pointing that story out to me because, it's just really sad. I just thought really, really good of you to mention that. And again, just really tragic. And there's nothing really much else to say there. But, if you haven't played Coffee Talk, maybe now's the time. Go and play
I remember it was on Game Pass, but it was a while ago, so it might not be anymore. But wherever it'll be on sale somewhere, and it won't be much. It won't be a high cost.
Yeah.
But it really is worth play. The stories they tell in there are just really lovely, and it's a lovely game to just sit in.
Yeah.
And like part of it is you can draw art on the coffee.
That's nice.
But they've got foam physics, so it's actually quite hard. But
That's cute.
just being able to master that and get the different coffee recipes, and then it gets to a point of oh wait, what was this person's coffee order again? And you've got to try and remember people's orders, and it's really nice, really nice, and has a progress of story development and stuff. Really nice.
Yeah, that does sound really nice. Yeah, but like you say, just really tragic, really sad. But yeah. All right. The next story on the list is actually to do with Gran Turismo 7. So Polyphony Digital has confirmed that it will rebalance the game's in-game currency system in response to ongoing criticism by players. As a result, the game will receive a considerable patch at the beginning of April, which will increase the number of events and rebalance the reward system so that later races award much money. So this patch will apparently include rewards in the events in the latter half of the world circuits by approximately 100% on average, adding high rewards for clearing the circuit experience and all gold, bronze results, increasing the rewards of online races. Basically, it just seems like they're actually going to start rewarding people like they should be, because this is the second week now we've kind of spoken about it, and I've listened to a couple of podcasts now people who played the game and just saying that you couldn't sell cars. So, if you had a car, you couldn't sell it. So there was no way for you to, get another car unless you did the races or spent all this money. This game is £70.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to be spending any more money
Absolutely
to get anything else. It's ridiculous. And especially when, the sad thing, I think, in many ways, is that everyone that's playing it is saying it's brilliant. People are saying it's a brilliant game. But it's just... I don't know, this avenue of forcing people to pay stuff after they've paid $70. If you want people to pay hundreds of pounds or whatever, just make the game free. At least then you're not the people buying it going, I know I'm gonna have to spend money to get things I want. If you've already paid £70, you should be able to just beat the game, and that's it. You should be able to get anything from the game just by doing races and not having to spend any more money. It's just it was obviously really, really bad. At the very least, they recognize this and they are trying to rectify it. I think they're giving out loads of money as well. I think I read somewhere they're giving out I don't know how much the value is because I don't know what the currency is. I know it's not in pounds and stuff. But yeah, people are getting a lot of currency to use in the game, which is again a nice touch, but it shouldn't have got to this point.
Absolutely not.
It's mad.
You can't only realize that it was a bad idea after you've released it. It's well, no, you've been planning this for years.
Dav, it's worse than that. They released it and then patched it and made the microtransactions more egregious.
Yep, they did, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. That's absolutely disgusting.
And so with the selling of the cars thing as well, people were furious because they thought if I have a car, I can sell it. They were told, and it was promoted that you could sell cars because that was a thing you could always do in Gran Turismo. You buy a car, you do it up, you sell it on, and get another one. At least that's what I remember from Gran Turismo A-Spec. That's my only time playing Gran Turismo. But then they took it out. And now they're having to put it back in. I'm like, but why did you take it out? Because, going back to what Dav said, it's about the money. They want people to spend more money. Because it's just bad. It's just bad. And again, when it happens in a good game, you're just you're just ruining the reputation of the game that is good. The game is good. Just the mechanics are bad. And there we are. But... who knows? Let's see. April is when the big update is going to drop. I know none of us have played it. I was tempted to buy it because I do like racing games.
If there's one game that needs to have good mechanics, it's a car game.
Wait.
Fun. Okay, let's move on. Oh my god, I just realized the story. Oh, for fuck's sakes! All right, the next story is also a Grand Theft Auto story. Rockstar has revealed GTA Plus, an optional new $6 a month GTA Online subscription for PS5 and Xbox Series X that will provide members with a regular selection of monthly rewards, including GTA dollars, special vehicle upgrades, and more.
What a fucking joke.
This is honestly, at this point, well, actually, this tells me two things, actually. This tells me people are still really, really spending way too much money on this game, because this game's been up for almost 10 years now. And if you haven't already done, most of what you want to do in this game, it's like, geez. But also that if they're doing this now, either they're trying to get as much money out of people before the next Grand Theft Auto game, or the next Grand Theft Auto game is way further down the line than anyone thinks.
Well, I think they're going to do what Call of Duty did when they revamped Warzone, is bring GTA Online, everything that it has now, and just pop it on a new map.
Right.
But my issue with this is that they just re-released this game for PS5 and Xbox Series.
They did, yeah.
And then went and told everyone to go and buy GTA. And then have said, oh, we're going to go to a free structure with a subscription fee that you can pay monthly, after they just made everyone buy it. So they are punishing everyone who's an early adopter.
Well, specifically, you're right about that. Anyone using the Xbox, yes. Anyone that has PlayStation Plus gets GTA Online for free for 3 months. As in, you've got 3 months. I think it's 3 months to claim it. But still, everything. Your point still stands, though. They still
and PC.
They exactly. So they could have said this last month. They said we're going to do this. Rockstar are I think often Rockstar get a pass when they do just as shady things as EA and all those other awful companies. Sometimes it's just I don't know. I don't like saying I kind of miss old Rockstar, but I do miss the fact that Rockstar used to be about making weird and crazy games.
Where is Bully 2? Dav. Come on, man.
Bully Max Payne. You have the table tennis.
Table tennis.
You know what I mean? There's loads of games that they've got, and they just haven't made anything since Red Dead Redemption, and before that GTA. So that's one game in the last 10 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is genuinely slightly unbelievable for a company as big as Rockstar as well. They got so many divisions, which must mean they're just all focused on GTA Online.
It prints money.
It does. That you can't argue with that, really. That's a really good point. It does just print.
It's like Valve. They don't make games. Well, every now and then they do.
Yeah.
But very rarely do they make games, because Steam just prints money.
Yeah, makes too much money. They're like, why would we bother? Why would we bother? I got two more stories. One of them is actually it's more of an intriguing point, and it kind of lines up with something else as well. So Microsoft apparently paid between 5 to 10 million to get Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy on Xbox Game Pass, according to an industry analyst. David Gibson, his name is, and he's a senior analyst at MST Financial. He estimated that Square Enix has paid about 5 to 10 million, somewhere in that range. For me, this is just more two things. One, is just interesting to know how much Microsoft actually pay for games.
Yeah.
But also because Guardians of the Galaxy is it's a fairly big game. The name is a fairly big game, but it's interesting because Guardians of the Galaxy and Square Enix in general was saying a couple of months ago that it hadn't sold very well. So I wonder if this deal was done before they announced that it hadn't sold very well, or a result of it not selling well. So is that a low amount? Or is that a high? Is that a normal amount? Is that a high amount? That could be influenced by the fact that Square Enix are it didn't sell well. Microsoft are offering us 10 million to put it on Game Pass for the next 6 months. That's good. Let's just do that. But yeah, there was really not any criticism or anything like that. I thought that was just a really interesting story to know. That's kind of how much they pay for games. It's impressive, really.
It is impressive, and I think it's different for each game, but it's definitely interesting. How do you make that 10 million back?
Yeah,
but also there's a big difference between 5 and 10 million.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I don't know how accurate whoever this person is, but how do you make 10 million back in subscriptions?
I'm trying to think, how much would that be? How much the subscription?
It's $15 a month.
Yeah. Well, they've got 25 million subscribers.
Yeah, so you'd need a whole bunch of subscribers, and for them to keep on subscribing for a while, for you to make that money back. So I guess in their mind, that's a game like Guardians of the Galaxy is enough to push some people over the edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I guess so. But I really enjoyed it.
I still haven't got past the first level, and I really want to go back to it. I'm probably going to try and do it this weekend. But yeah, I mean, I was so close to just buying it like 2 weeks before it came out, and I'm so glad I didn't. This is the reason why Game Pass is awesome. Yep. And finally, Kirby and the Forgotten Land has officially achieved the biggest launch in the franchise's history of the UK, which is nice. It just feels like with these Nintendo stories at the moment, it's always the same thing with the UK. Released on March 25th, the latest entry into the 30-year-old series has outsold the previous record setter Kirby Star Allies by more than double, bagging the #1 spot in this week's UK charts. I think it just beat Tiny Tina as well. Tiny Tina came in second, I think, which is impressive because that's on more than one console. It's worth noting, as always, that this is purely boxed copies and doesn't include digital sales. And digital sales will probably account for at least a third, which is crazy.
Which is mad.
Yeah. I think it's now the 5th biggest game in the franchise, and it's already outsold the likes of Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush, and just beneath Kirby's Adventure on the Wii.
Just want to put, there aren't any really particularly big hitting Kirby games, are there? Let's be honest. It's not that impressive.
I think they sold well on the SNES.
It's not a big flex.
Yeah, how big does it sell? Like, how big is? I'd love to know what.
I would say worse than Metroid.
I think it's better than Metroid, but I don't think it's much better.
Yeah, I would say I think it's better than Metroid because Metroid is constantly talked about how it doesn't sell, whereas Kirby's never really. I'm going to see how much it sells.
I just thought because nobody talks about Kirby, it must be worse. At least people are worried about Metroid.
Okay, let's have a look at this now. Let's see what we can get up. Kirby video game sales. Okay. Some of them are. I mean, some of them are Metroid-like. I mean, quite a few of them are Metroid-like. God, it's not that. They don't sell that much. It's a surprise, actually. Like I said, the best-selling Kirby game is Kirby Star Allies. Do you want to have a guess how much it sold overall?
2
million?
What did you say, Daf Weeks?
I said 3 mil.
It's 3.15 million.
All right.
That's the best-selling, so that's. I mean, I guess
not great, is it?
It's not that much more than Metroid. Interesting, that is. That's actually a very interesting plot. But yeah, I feel like this is going to sell like crazy.
Bad news for Ghostwire Tokyo. I've just looked at the top 10 of the UK and it's not in there.
Eesh.
Whoops.
And it came out the same day as Wonderlands and Kirby. And I know there are less PS5s out there, but I'm pretty sure it's on PS4 as well, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, actually.
Eesh.
That's coming to that's going to be a Game Pass at some point. That
Eventually,
is for
next
me.
year.
That is definitely going to be a Game Pass game. With Deathloop, I was always kind of intrigued, but I'm not really that bothered about this. I'll try it on Game Pass, but
yeah,
that's. I think the reviews were quite disappointing as well, weren't they?
Do you know what? This is an interesting top 10. You know, have a guess at number 3. What do you think number 3 is in the top 10?
GTA 5.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's number 10.
Okay.
GTA's not in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's come out? Elden Ring's been out recently.
Yeah, Elden Ring's number 3.
Number 3, okay.
Number 4, another recently released game with egregious microtransactions.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo 7. And then number 5 is a Nintendo game that came out this year.
Triangle Strategy? No.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. Number 6 is a annual game. Game comes out every year.
FIFA.
Yeah. Number 7, we'll come back to. Number 8 is WWE 2K22. I'm hearing okay things about that game.
I'm hearing very good things about that, actually.
Yeah.
I'm very tempted to get it, just not yet.
Me too. I'm hoping it comes to the Game Pass.
Yeah.
Number 9 is a PS5, a PlayStation exclusive.
PlayStation exclusive.
But it isn't Ghostwire Tokyo, and it came out this year.
Und came out this year?
Come on, Johnny, you've played it.
Have I played it? My brain's gone blank. Oh, it's Horizon.
Completed it. Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West.
Of course.
And then we knew number 10 was Mario Kart 8. Number 7 is a Switch game, and if anyone guesses it, I will give them £5.
Is it Ring Fit Adventure?
Nope.
Oh God, something obscure, is it?
Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
What?
Really? Is
That's
in the top
mad.
10?
Yeah.
Why? It's
That's
the worst.
hilarious.
It's like the worst Mario game on Switch right
I
now.
have no idea.
Oh my God, that game. I really did not enjoy playing that game. Like,
Oh wow.
at all. And it was annoying because I played it around the same time as I played Donkey Kong, and I was like, oh, this is just so much better.
Yeah.
This is so much better.
Hey, Ghostwire Tokyo debuted in 11th with retail sales 80% lower than The Evil Within 2, which was
Wow.
Tango Gameworks' last game.
Yeesh. I think they've come out and said they don't want to do any more horror inspired games. Oh no, the next game they want to do is not horror inspired. Not that they don't want to do any more. Just because they're kind of bored of doing like horror style games. It's always
They
weird.
marketed this game a lot.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did. I mean, it got the Deathloop treatment. Maybe not as much, but
I think it got more marketing than Death.
yeah, Deathloop.
It got about the same as Deathloop.
Do you remember that period of time, Dav? Every time we just stayed of play. Nintendo Direct. There's Deathloop. It's just there. It's just everywhere.
Nintendo Direct.
Just everywhere all the time. But yeah, that is the end of the news. We kind of drifted into the UK top 10. Maybe that's
our quiz for the week.
That's our quiz for the week. Yeah. Should we move on to games we've been playing? So I'm going to start off by, just because it's going to be quicker and easier for me to say. I mentioned earlier, I've only played Death's Door and I played it for 10 minutes and I liked what I liked. And I didn't really have much of an opinion about anything I didn't like because I didn't play it for long enough. So I'm probably going to keep playing that because it's on my Switch. You know, I know it's on Game Pass, but I bought it on Switch about a month before it came on Game Pass. And actually, I'm glad because that is the type of place where I'd like to play it on the go.
Nice.
Death's Door, can't really talk about much more. Right. I think maybe Daf Weeks would be better to go first because I feel like you've been playing this game for a little bit longer, so you might have a bit more to say.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I could be wrong there.
So I'm about 9 hours into Elden Ring.
Nice. How are you finding it?
I'm really enjoying it.
Oh wow.
I'm really liking it. It's good.
Are you a Dark Soulsian type of person?
I've played Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
And I like them.
Okay.
They're good games. I do enjoy them.
Have you been
somehow?
Have you been getting good?
Getting good. I am not good. Okay. So Elden Ring has kind of addressed some of the issues that I had with Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 with the whole getting good thing. And they've solved it by making it open world. They really have.
Nice.
So the other games they're not linear, but they are.
They're Metroidvania, aren't they? So
yeah, they're just kind
you
of
are kind of
they're mazes within small areas.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just have to keep going around those same areas, basically farming.
Getting good.
Yeah, getting good, and just farming XP essentially. Souls. Yeah, and that can get tedious when you get into the mid game and you're just kind of like grinding away in the same places, just like and then you get killed and you go, oh, now I have to go grab the 5,000 souls again, and then the second you get killed before you get to reclaim your souls, I'm out. And just walk away. Like, I'm going to need a cup of tea after that. And just because, when you boot up, you're going to have to go back into that exact same little area and kill the same people again. It reminds me of playing video games as a child, when you just play the same levels over and over and over, and...
Yeah, because you didn't have a memory card.
Just didn't have memory. And also just, I don't know if we've all just had our brains melted and we're all spoiled now, but it was never an issue to replay levels. So Elden Ring has basically blown that because, I'll go farm somewhere else. Get on my spiritual flying horse and go farm XP somewhere else and find a brand new place to get killed and get good. And then if that doesn't suit you, oh well, I'll just 180 my horse, go back somewhere else. And That's great. It's really good. And part of me was wondering, if it's really open, is it going to be too easy to run away from fights?
Right.
And I think it's just the right amount of easy to run away from fights.
Nice.
Because, there's some places you're still going to have to go through little squeezes and pinches and get beaten up. I mean, put it this way, like I have now definitely just gone venturing for hours in places I'm definitely not meant to be. And it's absolutely fine. You know, you'll get killed, go, oh, okay, I'll go back in, grab my runes, and maybe yeet out of there as quick as I can, because that's too dangerous, and just get out. And that's fine. It's like, if Dark Souls was about just getting good and grinding, Elden Ring is about getting good, grinding, exploring, looking at the pretty countryside, finding nooks and crannies, buffing very different parts. Looking for paintings is one element of it, weirdly. They took a bit of Breath of the Wild. I never thought Dark Souls would ever take inspiration from Breath of the Wild, but it definitely has. And even quite literally, there's a bit where like, hey, here's a pretty vista. Go find it. And it's solved a bunch of issues. It's very pretty, and I'm playing on PS4.
Yeah,
it's very pretty.
How does it run on PS4?
It's fine.
Yeah,
absolutely
nice.
Fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes if there's too many baddies, one of the baddies might start glitching a bit in its animation.
Sure.
But the game doesn't slow down. You just might have half the animation frames in an attack animation for one of the characters in the distance. It's not a big deal. So
I mean, that happens in Kirby if you kick a can.
Okay. So yeah, it's a thumbs up for Elden Ring. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm not bored yet. So it's already outlasted Bloodborne.
I will say, because I had my experience with Bloodborne was I didn't realize at the time when I didn't really know much about Dark Souls when I bought Bloodborne, which is because like it's not my type of game. And you explaining what Dark Souls is like, well, like you would just rage quit. Like that genuinely sounds like my idea of hell playing a video game. Like I just don't enjoy that. Like that would, after about 2 or 3 goes, be like, right. And it reminded me that I did play Bloodborne for about half an hour and did that. I got killed like 3 times. I was like, maybe this just isn't for me. I don't have the patience. But it's really fine. It's really nice to hear that Elden Ring is still hard, but like not as punishingly hard. Where like you've just got to stop. Like that's
I think it's basically there's a reason to do something else instead of rage quitting.
That's good, yeah.
They give you something else to do. It's like, this getting a bit tedious, that's all right. There's about 50 other things you can be doing right now.
Right.
And you don't get that in any of the other Souls games.
That's intriguing. This also might be the most chillest Elden Ring explanation I've ever heard. You're just like, just riding through the villages and finding paintings on my spiritual flying horse.
Going through disgusting goth fantasy hellscapes. It's really pretty.
You've
just like Kirby.
Yeah, there we go.
You have painted like genuinely like I am more intrigued about it because of what you said. But I think probably maybe it's time to move over to what Daf Gape has just mentioned. And Daf Gape, what have you been playing?
Kirby. And the Forgotten Land. I've put about 2 hours into it. So I've done the prologue on the first world. Planning to 100% this game because I'm having a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
The pacing is really good for this game. So a lot of times with all the Kirby games, I found this so slow that I have no ambition to do any exploring because that will only slow me down further. Whereas this just feels so streamlined and like you're playing through a level and you see a thing, you go, oh, that's a thing. And you go to the thing, you hit the thing, it goes, here's the thing that you wanted from this thing you hit. And I go, great, perfect. Nom, 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 nom. Move on. And in each level, you're trying to save these Waddle Dees and you get, you've got like 4 sub-objectives as you're going through the level.
Yeah.
And for the most part, you're able to do them all in one run of the level. And then On the boss fights, there's a hard sub-objective, which is beat the boss without taking any damage. So, just like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Just like Elden Ring. And but it's really fun, and there's loads of like side objective stuff. And like the town, I haven't really got into the town building element of it.
Yeah.
It starts building when you save 50 Waddle Dees, but in World 1, you can only save a maximum of 46. So right. I'm getting there. But so I'll see what's up with that. But you can upgrade your weapons, and then meaningful upgrades. Like I upgraded the fire one, and like the next upgrade up from that is so powerful. And it starts off when you boot up the game going, do you want like wild mode or normal mode? And normal mode, like the way to describe it is just so pathetic. And wild mode is just like playing on normal difficulty. Wild mode, like it's like playing a game slightly below normal difficulty. Honestly, I have no idea what the other mode's going to be like. I will never try it because it sounds really boring. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm only about 2 hours in. I've also played the first 2 hours of Death's Door, actually, since you mentioned it. And I've stopped playing it because of that Dark Souls Elden Ring thing I went all the way through this basement with its bosses, and I was like, I think I was in like the penultimate room and fell off the edge and died and got brought all the way back to the beginning of the basement. I was like, no, this isn't actually what I look for in my gaming experiences. And it's probably not fair to the game because I think the game's excellent. And the same really happened with Tunic as well. Played the first 2 hours of that, and I thought it's fantastic, but it's just not. It's not a DAVG game. Yeah. So
I played Tunic for about an hour, and I was like, ooh, I could enjoy this, but also the stress.
Yeah, it's such an investment. Such an investment of your mental fortitude. And I haven't got that. I haven't got enough to invest. But they're really cool games. And also finished Guardians of the Galaxy recently.
Nice.
And sick. So good. Like, it is really rough around the edges. Really rough around the edges, but it is very worth it.
How long is the game, Dave? How long? Because it feels like
it's less than 20. It's about 16 hours, I think.
I really need to keep just going there because I was really enjoying it. I need to keep plowing on with the game because 20 hours, that's nothing.
They do some really fun things like meta gameplay narrative stuff. Some really like quirky ideas that really changed, like mess with the form of a video game.
Yeah.
Nothing too groundbreaking, but some really cool stuff in there. And there are some post-credit sequences. And luckily with at least one of the credit sequence, you can skip the credits.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I won't say too much about the ending, but what I will say is that they end the story and let you feel as though you could easily get another game from these characters.
Right.
But don't feel necessary to be like, to be continued. Oh, cliffhanger. Like, they do give you a really nice ending to the story.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but like, these are still the Guardians of the Galaxy. The story's finished, but on to the next adventure.
They could have got something.
Yeah, and exactly. And the stakes are absolutely huge in this game. And it's just so fun. It's just the vibes at all times. And I'd say that, like, character-wise, I'd say that the characters in this game are probably better. Almost all of them are better than the ones in the film, which is a really tall order. I'm really impressed with what they've done with this. And it makes me wish that the Deus Ex was back because it's the Deus Ex team.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It really annoys me that Square Enix was just like, no, it didn't do our expectations. Like, you barely like I remember it being announced like 2 months before it came out or something, like something ridiculous like that, and then it was barely spoken about in the lead up to it coming out, and then it won awards for its story, and then barely got mentioned again, and now Microsoft has paid $5 to $10 million apparently.
This game that we didn't market didn't sell.
It's just like, well, yeah, Square Enix, of course. Not everything has to be Final Fantasy VII. And I say that as someone that loves Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, I definitely need to jump back into it. I was really enjoying it. And I actually kind of liked the combat. The combat was kind of like, I don't compare everything to Xenoblade Chronicles, but it does have that sort of like
for sure
similar vibe of you build
using
something up.
different abilities and the cooldowns, like sort of like almost like MMO style. But you never feel like you're waiting too long to use someone's ability.
Yeah, well, you've used someone's has just come back, and I was really enjoing it.
And like even though you're controlling Star-Lord, in many ways, it feels like you're playing as the other three instead.
Yeah.
You're just with Star-Lord, you just shoot your guns, really.
Yeah.
And you change your elements and stuff depending on what enemy types you get. But as far as like actually like doing damage or stunning and like or holding in place, like you're using Groot, you're using Drax, you're using Gamora, you're using Rocket. And I think the combat system, from like I was so hesitant because I was like, I want to play as the other ones. It's really good, really good stuff.
Yeah, I liked it. I definitely did. Like I just haven't had enough time to play it. Like I just want like, because it's a story-driven game, I don't want to dip in and out of it. I want to put like 2 hours into it, when I can, and I just haven't had the 2 hours, but I will get them now.
I will say it is very chunkable. I was sort of playing 20 minutes at a time, and it felt very chunkable.
I that needs to be a new phrase. Just when it comes to games, like it's chunkable.
Is this game chunkable?
Yeah,
very chunkable.
Yeah,
it's very chunkable.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's genuinely good to know.
Especially with quick resume on that Xbox.
Hey, I keep forgetting about quick resume. I keep forgetting about it. It's just still amazing. Still amazing. Anything else you want to add, Dav?
No.
Any Daf Weeks? Any other games you kind of gamed out?
Yeah, well, just
any toilet games.
No toilet games. But Hoy and I are smashing our way through It Takes Two at the moment.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Resuming that as soon as this podcast finishes.
I'm so excited.
It's good fun.
I can't wait for you to tell me. I'm so excited because that is one of my favorite games. That was
I'm really liking it.
Genuinely, and I mean this, one of my all-time favorite gaming experiences was playing that with Rosie. Like, it was because it's not a particularly difficult game. It can be. But
you can't die in it.
Yeah. But like, it's kind of like, I just love it so much. I can't wait to hear what you think.
It's really fun.
Yeah, awesome.
I love it.
All right, then. Well, let's call it a gents. Unless anyone has a quiz question they want to throw our way.
My quiz is: what game is this?
Okay.
There it is on the screen. Sorry, listeners.
Oh, can't see it.
Can't see anything, dude.
Oh, it's not visible on the stream. Oh, yeah. It's next to me. I'm pointing at it with my finger.
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah. Whoa, Jonny, can't believe you lost that.
Oh no, I saw it earlier. I didn't know you. I literally didn't know it. I was just like, I was looking at your screen going, "Is he playing that?"
Jonny. Okay, next one. What plant is this?
A Venus flytrap plant.
No. It's a cactus, you idiots.
I literally can't see.
Yeah. Okay, what Pokemon is this?
That's
Psyduck.
Oh, Dav wins again. And which breakout multiplayer game was this from 2020?
Among Us.
I can't
Jonny.
See I can't literally. I got glasses, man. I'm blind. I can literally barely
get
see
new
your
ones.
face.
Well, Dav wins 1,000 points to -3.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what I got -3.
Well improvised there.
All right, let's call it there, gents.
Aye.
Bye, everyone. We're gonna go now, and we'll see you next week.
Tassie, bye.
Bye.